From Upper Michigan's source, this is your Friday Night Fever on demand for Friday, October 13th. I'm Mike Ludlum. Let's start with our showdown of the week. The Marquette Redmen visiting the Negaunee Miners with the Diamond Jubilee Trophy on the line. And in case you didn't know what it looked like, there it is. Negaunee would get on the board first, but Marquette would bounce back. Second quarter, Brendan Caskey finds Ethan Martish 23 yards for the score to tie the game at 7. A few minutes later, the Miners are forced to punt. Jacob Bennett puts it in the air. Martish makes the catch and then finds another gear because I can't quite talk that fast. And eventually he would slow down and break another tackle to go 75 yards for the touchdown. And it was a 14-7 Marquette lead at the half. Negaunee would fight back in the third quarter, 19-yard scamper by Jacob Hill. But the extra point was blocked, so Marquette led 14-13. The Redmen put on a show from there, though. Drew Gale would take this one to the house from 40 yards out with a little help from Martish downfield blocking. And the Redmen go on to win this one 35-19, taking home that Diamond Jubilee Trophy, which means a lot to the coach and players.
For the most part, we did a little bit better tackling on defense. We had a couple busted plays that they had some big runs off of and made some nice plays. Quarterback ran the option pretty well, and we had a couple missed assignments on that. But like I said, for the most part, we tackled better, played much better on defense, came up with some big turnovers, which were key for us, and just a great high school game and just a great win for our program.
Oh, it means the world to us. I mean, that's probably the biggest win I've ever had in my life. I'm pretty pumped right now. So are the rest of the guys. It's a great win.
Marquette wraps up the regular season next week by taking on Menominee. Negaunee travels to Westwood. Speaking of the Maroons, they were in a dogfight of their own against Kingsford. Sawyer Perpich hits Tyler Beauchamp here, and it went back and forth all night. Ethan Molesky to Brendan Harris here, and he gets roughed up near the sideline. But Kingsford's running game started to chew up some good yardage. Luke Terrian, like trying to tackle a truck. He gets some tough yards, and Trevor Povolo gets this one down inside the Maroons' 5-yard line. That would end up in a touchdown for Terrian. And the Maroons actually led 14-0, but Kingsford would come back to tie the score. Ouch! That's Harris getting hit by Povolo and Jordan Jones. Everybody was okay, thank goodness. Keegan Monroe is going to get the interception for the Maroons. But Kingsford just able to have more players, and more players do good things. And the Flivers went on to win this one 42-21. On the scoreboard, Escanaba defeated Oconto 21-7. So Escanaba at Kingsford next Friday for the Great Northern Conference title. Never did hear from Ogama Heights and Sault Ste. Marie, but Norway turned back Lakeland and Hubble 21-11, and Ishpeming scored its points in between the first and the second St. Ignace touchdowns. Hematites won 20-14. Up north we go. West Iron County visiting the Hancock Bulldogs. Picked this one up in quarter number 1. Colton Solani looking for David Jukala, but Neil Tomasowski is there for the interception, and he's going to take this one down to the Bulldogs' 40-yard line. And then Tomasowski takes over at quarterback, and he fakes, steps aside, looks to be sure where everybody's at, and then puts it in the end zone where Jace Brockhagen makes the catch for the touchdown, and a 6-0 lead for the blue and white. Next, Solani looking for Michael Stuber, making the catch. This sets up Solani, handing the ball off to Alex Nordstrom. And he will go to the far side, 10 yards for the touchdown. That made it 7-6 Hancock. But West Iron would put on some muscle and go on to win this one by the score of 30-13. So the Whitecons win the Westpac Conference crown. Hop in the car. When you're in Hancock, you might as well go to Calumet if you can. See the Copper Kings and the Gogebic Miners. Second half action, Brent Locust, the handoff to Travis Ojala, who puts it in for the touchdown. And Calumet would go for the 2-point conversion. And Locust to Matthew Ojala, trying to keep the brothers happy. I know that's hard to do, Brent, I hear you. And Calumet hangs on to win this one by the score of 30-22. On the board, the Hurley Midgets are in the playoffs for the 20th straight year, defeating the Houghton Gremlins 22-6. And Northland Pines held off Lance 16-7. Gladstone inside the yellow walls for the first time in a long time, taking on Iron Mountain. Darren Johnson, Spencer Hughesby makes the catch, and then decides to take a grand tour of Mountaineer Stadium. 36 yards on the touchdown. Braves finally take the lead at 13-12. Iron Mountain had played great defense in the first half. Johnson finds Hughesby again in the fourth quarter on a 32-yard strike. 20-12. Then Cole Hansen is going to get his second interception of the game, and he's going to bring this one back to the house for the touchdown. And Gladstone takes care of business in the Mid-Peninsula Conference, winning this one 28-12. The Westwood Patriots taking on the Manistee Emeralds. Second quarter action, Patriots up 22 when Nathan Beckman fires a strike for Ethan Burke. That's a touchdown, and the red, white, and blue are doing just fine. Thank you very much. Emeralds with the football now. They've been going with different quarterbacks because they can't keep one healthy, unfortunately. Skylar Anderson is picked off by Eric Anderson, probably no relation, and if they were, they probably aren't now anyway. That's a pick six. And the Patriots would also get another score as Adam Heitnen will seemingly run right through three Manistee people right there. And the Patriots go on to win this one 44-8. Meanwhile, it's bonfire night in Gwinn. Actually, it's usually bonfire night in Gwinn, taking on Bark River Harris. 14-6 Gwinn third quarter, as you see the other angle of the bonfire. Austin Forbes to Tucker Taylor. Nice catch there for about 20 yards and a first down, but after 8.5 minutes, Gwinn lost the ball on downs, and Bark River Harris went right to work. Eric Vo with a room with a view. Plenty of running room. Breaks the tackle there. He went from the Broncos 15 to the Model Towners 15, so that should be about 70 yards on the play. A couple plays later, Ben Schultz fakes the jet sweep and just carries it right into the end zone, and the two-point conversion was good. The game is now tied at 14. Fourth quarter, Gwinn trying to drive 3rd and 6 from the 43, but Forbes is throwing in the double coverage, and Ryan Arndt ain't missing that one. He gets the interception, and Bark River Harris would drive, then Schultz would hit Arndt again, and he isn't dropping that one either. And Bark River Harris goes on to win this one 28-14. Newberry celebrated homecoming in a big way with a 42-8 victory over Rogers City. In 8-man football, we're going to have a new number one team next week in the UP because North Central whitewashed Rapid River 36-0. Stevenson cruised past Kearney NATO 72-6. It was Forest Park 52, Ontonagon 38. Phillips, Wisconsin defeated North Dickinson 48-18. Engadine cruises past Brimley 57-19. Pickford defeated a pretty good Cedarville team, 47-8. So we'll see how good those Panthers are when the playoffs start. And Rudyard over Onaway, 60-14. In Lower Peninsula High School football news, congratulations to Farmington Hills Harrison coach John Harrington. He became the state of Michigan's all-time winningest coach with a 39-0 victory over Berkeley. So 431 wins for Harrington. He passed former Birmingham Brother Rice coach Al Francesa for number one on that list. Let's turn to soccer. NMU home this weekend, both the men and women. It's the men here against Davenport. And the Panthers scored early in the first half. NMU able to clear the ball away from that danger. Davenport registered 7 shots on goal to NMU's, I hate to say it, but just 1. And it was a 1-0 victory for Davenport. And here's Wildcat head coach David Poggi about the loss.
I think there's a number of chances that we had early in the game that we didn't capitalize on. We had about one point blank chance that got blocked. We had another that they got blocked with one of their heads, one of the players' heads. We had one of ours point blank in the second half get blocked by one of our own players. There aren't that many chances sometimes in a game, especially a game that's as evenly played as that one is.
The Wildcats are home Sunday as they take on Purdue Northwest at 3 o'clock. On the scoreboard, the NMU women couldn't dent the board either. Tiffin defeated the Wildcats 2-0. Ashland over Michigan Tech 2-1, and they will flip-flop opponents on Sunday. In college volleyball, a crossover tournament at Aurora, Illinois. Michigan Tech defeated Bellarmine 3-0. The Wildcats lost a close one to Rockhurst 3-2. And then it went the other way around. Drury blanked Michigan Tech 3-0, and NMU defeated the Cavaliers of Walsh 3-0. Lake Superior State only played one match, losing to Truman, 3-0. In hockey, thank you, the college hockey page. Michigan Tech rallies to beat Lake Superior State 4-3. Gavin Gould had 2 goals, and Tech scored twice within a minute midway through the 3rd period. NMU gets a game winner from Troy Loggins, defeating Ferris State 3-2. Atte Tolvanen had 40 saves for the Wildcats. Also in college hockey, Bowling Green defeated Michigan State 4-1, and it was Minnesota State taking care of Boston University 6-3. Also in college volleyball, a pair of victories for Finlandia. The Lions defeated Mount Mary 3-1 and bounced back to defeat Grace Bible College 3-2. Big college cross-country meet at Madison, Wisconsin yesterday, the Nuttycombe Invitational. 33 teams taking part on the women's side. New Mexico was the winner. Michigan State's women finished 11th, and Marquette redshirt freshman Lindsey Rudden finished 105th overall. That was in the top half of the more than 220 runners. She went 21 minutes and 21 seconds for a 6-kilometer race.